the future of the Democratic Party. So one of the biggest impacts you've had is you've been the fuel, the catalyst for the increase of the progressive caucus, the progressive movement within the Democratic Party. Do you think that is the future? The progressives, even democratic socialist leaders will take over the party?
That is the most important question regarding, to my mind, American politics. One of the successes that we've had, and I'm proud to have played a role in this, is that if you go to the House of Representatives right now, you will see almost 100 members of the Progressive Caucus, led very well by a woman from Washington, Pramila Jayapal, does a great job. It's people like Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, and many others. Many of them are young, often women, people of color, and many of them come from working class backgrounds. So what we have been able to do in recent years, elect a number of strong progressives who represent working families very, very effectively. The struggle in the Democratic Party is between the corporate wing and the progressive wing. And, the corporate wing takes a whole lot of money, sees its salvation in getting a whole lot of money from wealthy individuals and, large corporations, and is not very vigorous, in my view, in representing the needs of working class people. If they were, we would have health care for all. We would have a minimum wage that was a living wage. We would not have a housing crisis. We would not have a tax system in which billionaires pay an effective tax rate that is lower than a truck driver or a nurse. So I think one of the reasons that Trump has had political success is he is not so much his ideas. Most working class people don't think we should give tax breaks to billionaires or worry about the size of, Arnold Palmer's genitalia. But they are angry. People are angry. And the Democrats have not responded effectively to that anger. So the struggle that we are waging right now is the future of the Democratic Party. Will it be a party of the working class and represent working class issues, whether you're black or white or Latino or Asian or whatever you may be? Or will it be a corporately dominated party? That's the struggle we're in right now.
Did you consider running in 2024? From my perspective, I would have loved it if you ran. I think you would have had a great chance of winning not just the primary, but the presidency.
I gave about 5 minutes thought to it. And the reason was we have a slogan of the progressive movement. It's not about me, it's about us. And, to have taken on Biden, who, in my view, on domestic issues has been quite strong, would have really split the Democratic Party and laid the groundwork for an easy Trump victory. And that I did not want to see. So sometimes in life, and I know that a lot of younger people don't agree with me, but you got to make choices which are painful. So I strongly supported Biden because I liked his domestic record. He's done some good things against a lot of opposition, and I'm supporting Kamala right now. But I'm doing my best to see that a dangerous guy like Donald Trump does not become president.
And the hope for you is that there will be future candidates that are populist, that are progressive.
Yes, absolutely.
Let me ask you about AOC. She's become one of the most influential voices for the progressive cause in the United States. You two had a great conversation on your podcast, and in general, you work together. So what's to you is most impressive about her?
I really like Alexandria a whole lot. She is a young woman who comes from a working class background. She helped her mother clean houses. She was a bartender in the Bronx, New York. And I'm very proud that my campaign for president inspired her to run. And she ran on a progressive working class program. And she took on one of the more powerful guys, a guy named Joe Crowley, who was pretty high up in the Democratic Party. And she knocked on doors. She had no money. She did a very strong grassroots effort. And I appreciate that. So that's number one. I like what she stands for. She's incredibly smart. And she has that certain charisma that, maybe you're born with it, maybe you develop it. I don't know. A couple of years ago, she came up here to Vermont to spend some time. She and her partner, Riley, came up. And we were out in the street, and people saw her, and they said, "Oh, Congresswoman," and she just smiled, and she had an approach to people which was beautiful. I mean, it wasn't phony. It was real. But to be a politician, you got to know how to, you could be a great intellectual, but you can't relate to people. She relates well to people. And so I think both from a personality perspective, from an intellect perspective, from an ideological perspective, she helped create the Green New Deal concept, the need to create jobs as we transform our energy system away from fossil fuel, strong advocate for Medicare for all, workers' rights. So I'm a big fan of Alexandria.
What do you think is the most powerful, enduring impact you've had on American politics? Looking back, you've been in it for quite a bit.
Well, I don't know that I can give you a singular answer. I was mayor of this city and proud of what we accomplished here, proud of my accomplishments as a U.S. senator. When COVID was devastating this country and we had a massive economic downturn, as chairman of the Budget Committee, I helped write the American Rescue Plan, which put a lot of money into people's pockets. We cut childhood poverty by 40% by providing a child tax credit. We kept hospitals going. We kept colleges going, kept people from getting evicted, helped get public health out there, people getting the vaccines. I'm proud of that. But at the end of the day, I think what I have shown is that the ideas, this gets back to the early part of this conversation, the ideas that I am talking about are ideas that are widely supported. So when, Donald Trump says, oh, Bernie Sanders is a far left, it's like I'm some kind of extremist coming up with ideas that nobody supports. Everything that I talk about, raising the minimum wage, health care for all, a tax system which demands the billionaires pay their fair share, those are all popular ideas, but people didn't know. You got to run for president and have 20,000 people come out to your rallies and win 23 states. They say, well, maybe those ideas are not so crazy after all. And we got to entertain them. The establishment doesn't like that. They really don't. They want to tell you, and this is how they succeed. What they say, Lex, is the world is the way it is. It always will be this way. We got the wealth. We got the power. And don't think of anything else. This is the way it is. You have no power. Give up. That they don't say it quite that way, but that's really what the intent is. And what we showed is, guess what? Running an outsider campaign, we took on the Democratic establishment. We came close to winning it, and we did win 23 states. And the ideas that we're talking about are the ideas that working class people, young people believe in.
Yeah, you showed that it's possible to win. And that's an idea that will resonate for decades to come.
And out of that came dozens of candidates now in the House of Representatives, people on city council, people on state legislature who did win.